Akim Shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Chakorash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us this truth. A sincere Shalom to the hopeful like this out there, listening, learning, and or teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom. Yeah, Akim, so I know there's a lot of war going on right now with Iran, with America. You know, there's talks of how China is, allowing Iran to use their tech, how Russia is going to back Iran. Ultimately, regardless of what people say, Russia and Iran are partners and they're very tight, man. All right, they're tight. So, ultimately, this thing will go nuclear. This thing will be a full-scale, full-blown, boots on the ground everywhere type of war, okay? But before it goes nuclear, remember the chip must come first, man. Okay, and so while all this stuff is happening, all right, all this war and the Epstein files, so on and so forth, okay, this is all used as a distraction as well, because under everybody's nose they are continuing to build their infrastructure for the MOTB system. They already have the chips. We already mentioned that a million times. The RFID C-HIP, the brain-computer interface with Neuralink, Synchron, right? The one that goes in the hand with dangerous things, so on and so forth. These things have been out there for years, all right? But the system, the economic system, right? You've got all these digital tokens that are out, right? You've had Bitcoin forever, okay? You've got the digital IDs being rolled out worldwide. We've been showing you how it happened in Vietnam, the UK, all right? All over the world. And before we even go into this article, I want to ask Google how many countries have a working digital ID system, okay? Look at this, AI overview. Over 150 countries are utilizing digital IDs to various degrees, with at least 81 offering government-recognized digital IDs for online service authentication. These systems enable secure access to digital services, with advanced examples found in Estonia, India, Singapore, and across the EU, right, the European Union, which, that's part of the beast, right? And that's mainly dealing with the European Union is the financial part of the beast, man. Okay, which countries are in the EU, right? Because you got the beast, which is 7 heads and 10 horns. The 10 horns represent the European Union, because there were 10 original powers, but now a lot of countries are added to that list at this time. So you have 27 EU countries. All right, so all throughout these European countries, you've got digital IDs, man, being utilized on a high scale, all right? And you can even look it up. I forget which one of these. They're actually already using the chip, not mandatory, but voluntarily. It's actually very popular in some of these countries. People already have the chip underneath their skin in their hand, okay? So with that being said, we're going to go into this article. It says, Washington state bill would ban employers from forcibly micro C-hipping workers. Welcome to the world of tomorrow. Okay, so this was March 3rd, 2026, which was yesterday. It says, what the F? Welcome to the future where war is fought using AI and employers force their workers to be micro C-hipped to keep an eye on them. While the former is happening, we are thankfully yet to see the latter being practiced, at least not the forcibly part. If it ever does become a reality, a new bill could make the dystopian nightmare illegal in the state of Washington. Okay, and it doesn't matter what these people do. Okay, these lawmakers, because America is divided, man. Ultimately, America is divided. Okay, the elite ultimately want this chip to be mandated worldwide, but you got a lot of Edomites who are, they're not so high up in the rank. They have a little bit of power. They don't want that to happen in their state. They don't want it to happen in their cities. So they're going to fight against it. But ultimately, it doesn't matter if they fight against it. It's the Lord's will, man. Okay? This is, I want to go ahead and grab Matthews 12 and 25. It says, and Yahweh Shai knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, which is destruction, man. And every city or house divided against itself shall not stand, right? America is a house that is divided, man. Look at all the division in this country, man. All right? Not just, among the people, the so-called people, the sheeple. These Babylonians are divided against each other, right? And then you got the rich versus the poor, right? You got Edomites versus Jake, right? You've got Democrat, Republican, and then you got these people in these states that are passing laws, these lawmakers, to stop the coming of the MOTB. So the fact that they are trying to stop it, there's Edomites that are in the know, that understand that something is happening, where if they don't do something, right, these micro C-hips will be mandatory in the workplace. So that shows you that what we're saying is correct, man. Because why would they be making all this effort to make this illegal if it wasn't going to happen, if they didn't know it was going to happen, man? Okay, so these Edomites know something. While everybody's going to war, okay, lawmakers are passing laws to try to stop the coming of the MOTB here in America, specifically in Washington. Okay, but it's not going to happen, man. The Lord's will, the word of the Lord will not go out void, man. This is Isaiah 55:11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, right? The Lord said that there would be a mark that's going to be made mandatory for what? For buying and selling worldwide. Okay, well, guess what? When you go to work, you are selling your services. You are selling your labor and your time for money. So you won't be able to work and earn money in this NWO once that CHIP is made mandatory, right? Because those of us who are in the know here at Great Millstone, and those who agree with the doctrine, we're not going to take no chips, man. We're not going to take no chips. Even if they fire us, okay? Even if we got to be put to death, we're not going to do it, man. You know? So at the end of the day, we're going to have faith in Yahweh Shem Shai. But the rest of these Babylonians, okay, they might push back a little bit, but as soon as the going gets hard, they're going to take that chip. Okay, which that's the Lord's will. Okay, they're going to be marked for destruction. All right, because, they didn't listen to the prophets. Those who are listening to the prophets, coming back to their heritage, right? You Israelites, who are the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, who are listening, right? Those of you that scoff and you end up going your own way and doing your own thing and following idols and all types of philosophies of this world, instead of coming back to your true heritage, guess what? You're going to be in the mindset to take that chip. Because the only doctrine in the world that's against this chip is here at Great Millstone, man. Now, of course, some wacky-tacky Christians believe that the MOTB is the chip. But what do they believe? They believe that the Lord is going to come save them before the chip is mandatory. They think they're going to get a free ride away from the hour of temptation. So they're not going to be prepared either, man. They're going to be just like these people of the world, man. We're the only group that has the 100% truth of the scriptures, man. All right? And those who follow this truth, the 100% truth, calling on the true name of Yahweh Shem Shai, we're going to be delivered from the hour of temptation and ultimately get the victory over the beast, NATO and the EU. Because this is their doing. This is their planning. Why do all these EU countries, right, NATO and the EU being part of the beast spearheaded by America, why are they all so heavily invested in this digital ID bullshit, man? Because that's their doing, man. That's why the scripture says he causeth all, right? He being the beast, all right, which we're going to get that next. All right, but back in Isaiah 55:11, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it, right? The word of the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, does not go out void. What the Lord wants will happen, man. Okay, this is Revelation 13:15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, right? So the beast speaks through its philosophies. Okay, the American way, the Babylonian way, the Western way of life will be mandatory through this chip, because once people get this chip, your digital ID, your social credit score, everything's tied to that chip, your identity, right? And you want to live a way that's different from the Western way. Everything you say and do will be recorded, and your social credit score will go down. Eventually, you're going to be put to death. They're going to turn off your chip if you talk against the tiny top people, right? You know, anything you do that they deem wrong according to their way of life. You know, oh, you're buying too much meat, or oh, you're driving around too much. Oh, you didn't work enough hours at your slave job. Oh, you're complaining about capitalism. You're complaining about the system. You know, negative 100 points. You know, negative 500 points. You know, so on and so forth. So this is the system of total control that they're going to be bringing into the world through the beast, which again is NATO and the EU, which is spearheaded by America. All right. It's going to cause you to be killed. All right. So yeah, man, you know, ultimately living life in this new world order is not even going to be worth living anyway. So you might as well die. It's better to die. You know, and by die, I mean just, hey, don't take the chip, even if you starve, or if they're going to put you to death. You know, ultimately, those of us that have faith in Yahweh Shem Shai, we know the Lord's got our back, man. So whether we end up being martyrs, or whether we end up being able to escape these perils through whether it be spiritual powers, whether it be, you know, the Lord just hiding us, we're going to be all right, ultimately. All right, but the people of this world, you have no covering, man. You have no covering, man. Verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, right? So the bag is not going to save you. Getting your hustle and making all this money, you know, buying a log cabin out in the middle of the woods, none of that shit's going to save you, bro. They got drones, they got robots, they will find you, okay? And if they don't, somebody that's hungry is going to find out where you live, put you to death, and take all your shit. That's why the scriptures tells us to be pilgrims on the earth when these days come, man. It says to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? You see there's a push, there's an underground push for it right here. And there's people in the laws trying to stop it. Okay, so we're going to keep reading this article. It says the Washington State Legislature website describes House Bill 2303 as a law that prohibits employers from micro C-hipping employees, which is nice. Sponsored by West Seattle's Brianna Thompson, right? Which that doesn't matter because they step on their own laws. They break their own laws all the time. When push comes to shove and these devils get the order, they're going to overturn that bill. Doesn't matter. And it will be made mandatory one way or another. You know, whether they have to use a crisis, stage a false flag event. Hey, now with this whole Iran thing, would be a great opportunity for them to stage a false flag sleeper cell attack or a terrorist attack. You see? It says the bill specifically states that an employer may not request, require, or coerce any employee to have a micro C-hip implanted for any reason. It says ID, wallet, keys all in your hands. Sweden moves into the future. You know, and yeah, that was the country, Sweden. You know, they have a lot of these C-hips where people are just taking them just for the hell of it, man. You know, these devils, these Edomites. Let's see if we can find their flag here. But anyway, y'all get the point. Let's go back. There are, of course, no known cases of companies requiring or forcing employees to be micro-CF'd right now. It might sound like something that will never happen, but there are plenty of things in our modern world that once seemed the stuff of sci-fi dystopia, such as AI being used in wars. If companies do start forcing their employees into pet-like microchipping programs, HB 2303 would see them receive a minimum fine of $10,000 for the first offense, followed by $20,000 charged for each additional infraction. The bill is essentially a preemptive measure in case the practice ever becomes widespread. It has already passed the House and is now listed as on the floor calendar in the Senate. Okay, so as you can see, man, and let's read this. It says, back in 2018, UK-based company Biotech said it had already inserted 150 implants into people within the country. While most were for individuals, some financial and engineering firms had the C-HIP placed in their staff as a way of improving security rather than for surveillance purposes. So, see, their company's already mandating it, man. Now, they didn't say it was mandatory, but let your ass not get that C-HIP. They're going to make something up. Oh, well, you're not meeting the requirements, or, oh, you said something offensive, or, hey, your position is no longer needed. Whatever. Bullshit. You know how these devils are. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. We're not ignorant, right? 2 Corinthians 2:11. All right, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, his schemes, his plots, his plans. Which one of them is going to be, like I said, a false flag event. Whatever excuses they're going to push out is going to justify what they're getting ready to do here, man. Okay? It says, implanted in the skin between the thumb and forefinger, the chips use RFID and NFC, allowing users to perform tasks such as opening certain doors and starting cars. They can also be used to store medical data, which could be accessed if the person was involved in an accident. Another company at the time, a Swedish firm called Biohacks, has also said to be in talks with a number of UK legal and financial firms who wanted to offer the implants to employees. 3 Square Market 32M said in 2017 that had partnered with Biohacks to offer the implants to its employees. Boom. So this company's doing it. See, under the radar. You don't see this all plastered all over the news. Okay, so there's places where they're doing it, they're testing it. Okay, they got these digital IDs. All this progress is being made under the radar, man. All right, as everybody worries about this war, which again is just a rumor until the chip is mandated. Then it will go full blown. Okay, and I got this other article here. It says biometric IDs are being rolled out in Africa. Study reveals the risk and pitfalls. Okay, this was March 2nd, so just 2 days ago, man. So all these countries are doing it, man. It's not just the European Union. You got Africa. I believe Mexico's working on it. And in the border, they have a lot of this biometrics, right? If you want to get these apps for trading coins, a lot of them use biometrics. So you got to have your face, your eyes. They're getting the whole system prepared, man. And once everything is prepared, once everything is ready in the background, they're not going to fucking tell you every step of the way what they're doing. But when it's ready to go live, boom. All they need is one emergency, and it's mandatory. Worldwide, it can be done very quickly, man. Look at the jump shot. The C-19 situation, they already had those jump shots ready for years and years and years. And they planned everything out, and boom, within a year or two, the whole world was jump shotted, man. Now millions of people are being put to death by that jump shot. Okay? You see how easy it was for them? It could be even easier with this chip, man, because there's going to be a lot more force behind it. It says across Africa, governments are introducing digital systems that use individuals' unique physical measurements to identify them, right? See, even Africa, where you got a lot of poverty and starvation because of Esau, all right? And all this corruption in the governments, with Esau oppressing all these nations, you got all this, there's more than enough resources in Africa and all these other countries for people to be fine, man. But this devil, he's in every country, man. This devil is doing things in every country, man. Oppressing different people. But anyway, that's besides the point. All right. The point is that, even in Africa, they're going to have this digital system showing you that it is pretty much here, man. It's pretty much ready to go. They just got to make an announcement. It says these systems collect citizens' biometric and personal data and use it to give people access to essential public services like voting, healthcare, education, and social protection. Biometric digital identification systems are often promoted as tools to improve efficiency, inclusion, and service delivery, right? Which, of course, you got a lot of modern cities in Africa with technology and all that. But there's certain areas with a lot of poverty and stuff like that. But everything is gonna be included, man. I remember seeing videos years ago where they had uh, certain African kids drinking out of a water machine, but they had to do something. I forgot what it was. They had to do like either a fingerprint or I forget what it was, man. But it was a very poor area, man. People were walking in the dirt, barefoot. But there was this big ass machine with water, and you had to do something that these devils wanted for you to get that water. You know, everywhere is gonna be, there's not gonna be an escape from this system, man. This system is gonna be worldwide. Okay. It says, but a new report by the African Digital Rights Network published by the Institute of Development Studies highlights serious concerns about exclusion, rights violations, data protection, accountability. Drawing on evidence from 10 African countries, the report shows how millions of people are struggling to enroll in or safely use these systems, so are choosing not to participate due to fear and mistrust. And can you blame them, bro? These devils are always getting hacked. I get those things in the mail all the time saying, "Oh, there's your information was involved in a data leak, and there's a civil rights or what the hell is that called? Class action lawsuit, so on and so forth." Yeah, they these devils can't be trusted with our data, man, but they don't give a shit. It's not about safety. All right, these devils want total control. That's the insatiable greed of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, which is Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. Let's get that real quick. Habakkuk 2, and verse 5. We'll start verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up in him, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Right? He's unjust. He's destroying the world, the resources thereof, hoarding resources, forcing people to starve just so they can have power over people. They don't invent anything, right? They don't innovate. They don't contribute anything to the world, man. These so-called white people, they just steal, kill, and destroy. All right? A cancer on the earth, man. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, that's the philosophies. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, right? All these military bases all over the world, always fucking with other countries. They just attacked Ecuador, man. Donald Trump is not just at war with Iran now, he's going to Ecuador. You see, this devil does not stop. It says, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied, right? He's never satisfied, that insatiable greed. But gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. Meaning he's not going to stop, man, until he gets that chip. Because he wants to enslave all people in digital slavery, man. That's how greedy he is. He doesn't just want all the resources. He wants you. Like that Uncle Sam picture. I want you. You see, these devils want you, man. All right? And it's going to happen, man. This will be mandatory very soon, man. This chip could be made mandatory this year, the way things are speeding up, man. All right. Let's see here. Here we go. How is uptake happening in Africa? Our report includes 10 country studies. The research was coordinated by the African Digital Rights Network, bringing together 75 digital rights researchers from 30 African countries in collaboration with Paradigm Initiative, a nonprofit organization. We found that pressure to adopt biometric systems often comes from foreign funders and creates dependencies on foreign technology providers. Right, because it's coming from the beast. Okay, and again, they keep not at home. They're in Africa trying to force that chip over there. Or not the chip right now, but the digital ID, which is a precursor to the chip. You see? The World Bank claims that the motivation for spending billions of dollars on digital IDs is to meet the Sustainable Development Goal of identity for all, right? Or in other words, total control, man. Everybody being identified, knowing where you are, what you're doing, how you doing it, what you're saying, what you're thinking even. You got that Neuralink, right? But the role of private vendors, international funders, and even state actors may also reflect interest in profit generation, data control, or surveillance of populations. Exactly what it is. All right. What are the challenges of rolling them out? One of the challenges is that universal human rights, which should be unconditional, become conditional on enrollment in a biometric digital ID scheme, right? 2 Corinthians 2:11. We are not ignorant of Satan's devices. A device is a scheme. Right? This is a scheme, bro. It starts with a digital ID. Oh, everything's voluntary. Then something, an excuse, and now it's mandatory. Boom. These include access to education, healthcare, social security, and voting. Withholding access is a violation of fundamental human rights. But it's going to happen, though. It is violation of fundamental human rights. But this devil Esau, this is what he wants, man. Okay, let's go back to Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Let's get the word mark. All right? We got to go, Salakia. We got to go into the meaning of words. A mark, G5480, charagma, and it means a stamp, an imprinted mark, right? Underneath the skin. A mark stamped upon the forehead and the right hand. Badge follows an antichrist, which that's going off because there's not one single antichrist. Anyone who's against Yahushua is an anti-Mashiach. So there are many antichrists. The mark branded upon horses, right, is similar because a horse, when you mark a brand on him, you own him, right? So if you take this chip, you are now pledging allegiance to Esau, Edom. Thing carved, sculpture, graven work, right? Carved underneath the skin of idolatrous images, right? It is idol worship. You're bowing to the image of Baal, ultimately, man. Okay? From the same as harax. I believe that's harach. Let's get that. Yeah, harax. So this is the root word of haragma, is harax. And it means a pale or stake, a palisade or rampart, which if we go here, let's see here, it don't show it here. Let's RFID chip kit. So the RFID CHIP kit is online. Let's see. Here we go. So there's the kit. It comes with a stake. So you see, this is almost like a jump shot. You put the little C-hip inside that syringe. You put it in the person's hand like you see here. And you insert it underneath the skin by making that incision. Okay, well, why did I bring that up? Because if you go back to this word, pale or stake, a palisade. Let's get pale, stake, palisade, and see what comes up. Okay, you see, it's a sharp object. Okay, these are sharp objects. Okay, because the stake or the pale, the sharp object, is used to cut. These objects in the past were used to cut. And so that is the connection with this syringe. It is used to cut, to do what? To insert the charagma. So the harax is used to insert the charagma underneath the skin, right? So now we're going to go ahead and get the root word of harax, and it gives us grapho. Okay, very important, grapho, which means to write. Okay, and I like this definition because it's more detail. It says to fill with writing. Okay, why is it to fill it with writing? Because the C-hip is going to have all your information. This CHIP is going to have your passport. It's going to have your legal documents. It's going to have your driver license, your social security number. It's going to have your social credit score, your digital ID, your physical ailments, right? So if something happens to you, right? That's why they always say, oh, well, then the doctor doesn't have to ask you because all the information is in it, right? Because it is filled with writing. It is grapho. Okay, so the scriptures tell you exactly what this thing is. This charagma. Okay, and this must be mandatory for buying and selling before World War III goes nuclear. Okay, and that's written in the scriptures. The title of this passage in Revelation 14 and 9 on down, it says doom for worshipers of the beast. And that's what's coming to you people that take this chip. Whether you take it in your hand or in your brain, you will be destroyed. So you have been warned. This is Revelation 14 and 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in their forehead or in his hand, right? Because that's what you're doing. If you take this mark, you are worshiping the beast, Esau, man. NATO and the EU. You are worshiping them, man. If you take it. Verse 10, the same, right? Those of you that do it, shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. Right? You could think about drinking some hard liquor with no chaser, right? Just bitter, burns your throat. That's that punishment, man. It's not going to be any mercy. How about Shem Shai will incinerate all you people that take this chip. You're all going to die here in America. A terrible, painful death. Also known as death by pain. The scriptures talk about that. All right? Okay? And those of you that take it around the world are also going to get fucked up, man. Okay? But it says, and he shall be tormented with fire, right? You take that chip, you're going to be tormented with fire, because what's going to happen is here in America, and really here in America and Israel, is going to be completely wiped out by thermonuclear destruction in World War III. Okay, you're also going to have the chariots of the Lord shooting their laser beams, right? We know certain other places will get hit by nukes as well. Okay, but ultimately, it's talking about here in America, those of you that get this chip, you will be prepared for that great fire, man, which is coming. Revelation chapter 9 talks about 200 million nuclear warheads that are going to be going off here. And in 1 hour, America will be desolate, a wilderness forever. Okay, so those of you that take this chip, you're going to be part of this destruction. It says, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, which is Yahushai, because Yahushai is going to return simultaneously as this destruction is happening. He's going to be beaming up his elect into the chariots for us to escape. Lord's will be of the elect, for us to escape out of America, just like we escaped out of Egypt. All right, the Lord is going to make a new salvation, man, that's going to overshadow the salvation we received in Egypt, man. Let's get that real quick and we'll come back. It says it will no longer be said. Jeremiah 16. And we're going to start at verse 14. Jeremiah 16:14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, that it shall no longer be said, Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Right? Remember that ancient salvation through the Lord by the hand of Moses. But what's going to happen instead? What's going to be said instead? Right? It says, but Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north. That's North America over here in Babylon, man. Over here in America. Okay? Let's read it again. But Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north and from all the lands whither he had driven them. Right? Showing you that the true Israelites of the Bible are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians. Right? We're the Israelites here in America, and then the speckled birds that are scattered throughout the world in slavery. Why? Because Israel will be scattered, and who's going to bring us back to the land? Yahushua himself. So these people over there in our land claiming to be JEWs, they are nothing but imposters. Okay, who are they really? They are the Edomites. Okay, specifically the tribe of Amalek of the nation of Esau, man, the least of the flock. Right, the lowest of all races, man, live over there. Okay, it says, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. Okay, so this is how we're gonna get back to Israel, man. Is America has to be destroyed by thermonuclear destruction, and so does Israel. That land is gonna be cleaned, and then the Lord is gonna bring us right back over there, man. Right back over there. Okay, so going back to Revelation 14 and 11. All right. It says, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Right? You're going to be destroyed. It's going to be a grievous death. And who knows, man, the Lord might slow down time or make you feel that fire for a very long time before you die, man. All right? The Lord is cold, man. The Lord will fuck you up, man. People out there don't think that you're going to get away unpunished, man. Okay, you acting like you're just a background character in this world, you're going to suffer for it. All right, you jakes out there that are just living your life, whatever. Nah, man. You're going to pick sides. You're going to pick Esau or you're going to pick Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right? And it says, here is the patience of the saints. Right, this is our patience, man. We are excited for this to happen. We want this to happen yesterday. The faster this bitch goes down, the faster we can live. We have not lived in this fucking land, man. I watched a video from this Jake on Instagram earlier talking about why y'all motherfuckers worried about the war in Iran. Motherfucker, rent is like $10,000 a week. We're going to have to go to war against homelessness soon. And it's true, man. At the end of the day, yeah, this war is a big deal, but, fuck this place, man. Let World War III happen. Hey, if World War III happens on a large scale, we don't got to pay rent. That's how tired we are of being here, man. Let the whole fucking world burn so we can stop being fucking slaves, man. Some of us, all we see are 4 white fucking walls all day, man. Working 2 jobs, nothing to show for it, man. Our women out of order. This ain't living, man. We're being forced to survive in a system that is just wearing us out, man. Like the scripture says, he will wear out the saints of the Most High, man. Okay, so here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahushai. So again, it's faith and works. You cannot just be a make-believe Christian out here talking about, I believe, and then go and turn around and eat pork. No. All right? Faith and works. Okay? It says, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord, hence from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them, right? Speaking about the laboring of this truth, right? Going out to the highways and byways, making videos, okay? So, yeah, man, that's what's going to happen. So, as we read in Revelation 14 and 9 on down, okay, World War III going nuclear is a punishment for those who take this chip. So, this chip must come before World War III goes nuclear. Okay, so with that, I want to finish by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Chakurash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. A sincere shalom to the hopeful like this out there, listening, learning, and or teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom wa abad babal. Shalom.